One morning, Emile, still half asleep, remembered something fascinating from the day before. "We must ask Uncle Paul to tell us more about the ants' cows," he said to his brother Jules. As soon as they could, the boys went to find their uncle. "Aha!" Uncle Paul exclaimed when he heard their request. "The ants' cows have caught your interest. I will do better than just tell you about them. I will show them to you. First, let's call Claire." Claire hurried over to join them. Their uncle led them to the elder bush in the garden, and this is what they saw. The bush was covered in white flowers. Bees, flies, beetles, and butterflies buzzed around, moving from one flower to another. On the trunk of the elder, ants were busy climbing up and down. The ants going up the tree were in a big hurry, sometimes stopping to talk to the ants coming down. After getting news, they climbed even faster. The ants coming down moved slowly and seemed very full, with big, swollen stomachs. "The ants going up are hungry," Uncle Paul explained. "They are rushing to a feast. The ants coming down have just eaten and are heading home, moving slowly because their bellies are so full." "What do they find to eat on the elder bush?" asked Jules, watching the ants with interest. "Some of them look so full they can hardly move." "They aren't gluttons," Uncle Paul said with a smile. "They are gathering food for the whole ant colony. Let's look at what they are eating." Uncle Paul gently pulled down a branch so the children could see better. On the underside of the leaves and along the tender branches, tiny black insects were packed close together. These insects were plant-lice, and they had long, thin suckers to drink the sap from the elder bush. At the end of their bodies, they had two short tubes. "These plant-lice are the ants' cows," Uncle Paul explained. "The two tubes are like udders, and from them comes a sweet, sugary liquid. Watch closely, and you'll see a drop escape now and then." The children watched as ants moved among the plant-lice, waiting eagerly for the tiny drops of liquid. When an ant saw a drop, it rushed over, drank it, and seemed very happy. "Sometimes the plant-lice don't give up their sweet liquid easily," Uncle Paul continued. "The ants then gently stroke the lice with their antennae, coaxing them to release the liquid. With patience and care, the ants usually succeed, and they drink up the precious drops." "That's amazing, Uncle," Claire exclaimed. "It is, isn't it?" Uncle Paul agreed. "And elder bushes aren't the only plants that have these little milk herds for the ants. Plant lice can be found on many plants. They come in different colors: green on rose bushes and cabbages, black on elders, beans, poppies and nettles, bronze on oaks and thistles, and yellow on oleanders and nuts. They all have the tubes that ooze the sugary liquid, and the ants love them all." Claire and Uncle Paul went back inside, but Emile and Jules were too excited to stop exploring. They started searching for plant lice on other plants.